the LA Rams and beyond. Houston won the toss. They elect to receive. If St. Louis wins today, they clinch a playoff spot for the UFL postseason. Ryan Sanborn will get the afternoon started here in the Dome. And this is Davis on the return. And he is met at the 31-yard line.
Draft pick. This is what they envisioned. He obviously had this shoulder injury week 2. Came back last week, his first playing time since then. Looked a little rusty, but also did some really nice things in the first half.
Marcus Major is tackled for a loss immediately. That was O.J. Mudia.
Boy, Ojemudia there in the backfield. The run game has been a struggle for Houston. That's why I wonder how much they'll use John Rice Plumlee, the backup quarterback. He's such an athlete, played receiver in the NFL. Jalen White, their running back, has got to have a day as well. And the reason St. Louis is as good as they are, the #1 rush defense in the UFL, is because of guys like Taylor Stallworth and Carlos Davis. The interior of this defensive line is so good. Peter Dalmapenu gets a lot of attention. Travis Feeney gets a lot of attention. But they are so good across the front.
Dalmapenu with a big tackle there. 2 straight TFLs to start the game
there you go.
for Corey Chamblin's Battlehawks defense. A 3rd and 13. Houston in a hole right away. A lot of movement on the left side of the line.
Full start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Hey guys, there's no doubt that the noise down here is impacting Houston. Even on the first couple of snaps, they probably should have called a penalty on the snap previous to that one on the left tackle Carmen. So they got to settle down here and block out this noise.
Consistently the best home field advantage in the UFL. The Dome at America's center. Through the years, the largest crowds we have seen in the reinvented Spring Pro Football League. A 3rd and 18. Deckers, pocket collapses, and so does he as he was tripped up again by Pita.
Boy, when you're 3rd and forever, look at what the defense can do. They can have everybody sitting back, all with eyes on Hunter Deckers. There's just nowhere to go with the football. He does a good job of trying to get north and south, but by that time, Peter Dalmapenu had adjusted his pass rush and brought Deckers down. He did a good job last week of making plays when things broke down, tried to do it there, but St. Louis all over it.
So Michael Rivers comes on to punt. Offense goes absolutely nowhere with this fired up atmosphere, looking to clinch a playoff spot here in St. Louis. This is Fresh on the return, and it's a good one. Sean Fresh with a blocker in front as he has finally run out inside the 20-yard line by the punter Rivers.
It's a great job on the outside of holding up those blocks without actually holding. Usually you see a big return like that, somebody's got some jersey, but a really good technical job on that punt return and great field position for Luis Perez in the St. Louis offense.
Luis Perez, they traded for him from Dallas midseason. The longtime Spring King, the veteran quarterback of Spring Pro Football.
Ready to go. Full start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Jordan.
That's why St. Louis traded for him.
1st and 15 after the penalty. He gets into space right away to his outstanding tight end Tyler Neville, but he is wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, down here in the red zone, that's where Hakeem Butler at 6'5" on the outside is such a weapon. His chemistry with Luis Perez is still kind of a work in progress, only a couple weeks in. Jarvion Howard, the leading rusher in the UFL, will play a big factor today. And the pass rushers, Malik Fisher and Kenny Dyson for Houston, have got to find a way to affect Luis Perez. He's a little bit of a statue, likes to operate from the pocket. They got to move him off his spot.
Major Burns with the tackle moments ago. Went for no gain. So a 2nd down and 16. And this is McBride trying to turn the corner, and he is tackled down at the 14-yard line. A.J. Smith is the play caller.
Yeah, run and shoot type offense.
Okay.
Have adapted a little bit
Trips
with
left
Luis
up.
Perez.
Aggie special X9 F prop. Trips left up. Aggie special X9 F prop 880.
Play clock.
So you hear X9, that's Hakeem Butler on a go route. And he's got 5'10" corner, Kerry Vincent on him. I love that matchup to Hakeem Butler at the top of your screen.
Incomplete. As he was trying to connect with McBride again, Amir Speed had coverage.
Yeah, I would have gone to the other side. I know McBride had a touchdown in a one-on-one slot fade last week. Perez found him. He opts to go in this direction.
Yeah, I heard a problem there. I heard Aggie special, but we didn't run that.
I would have gone for the 7-inch advantage to Hakeem Butler on the other side. But again, it's a work in progress. The comfortability between Perez and Hakeem Butler wasn't there every time last week. They'll work on that, though.
See the pro career stats for Ramiz Ahmed, as this will be a 32-yard attempt. And he puts it right through. Final playoff spot, of course, here, St. Louis up a field goal, and if they win today, they are in the postseason. There's Lawrence Keys on the return, as he is taken down near the 34-yard line.
Yeah, look, this offense under Eric Price and Kevin Sumlin is heavily based in the RPO, the run-pass option. So they have to get some semblance of a run threat for everything to open up. They like to run that inside zone, have Deckers kind of read the linebackers, the safeties, pull it, hit the slants, the quick throws. But that all starts with them trying to get the run game going, and everything builds off of it.
Ran out on their first possession. 2 TFLs as well. Deckers. He gets this complete past midfield to Lawrence Keys.
Well, this is a great throw. He's going to have a slot corner. Keys working in man coverage on Daniel Isom. And the ball is just on time in the perfect location on the outside shoulder there.
20-yard reception by Keys.
It looks like Daniel Isom was a little banged up on that play.
Yeah, slow to walk off the field, the starting nickel for the Battlehawks.
Remember, they're real thin in the secondary. Jordan Mosley's not in the lineup tonight. Trey Dean will move up into that safety spot, but they start to get real thin with Daniel Isom, their nickel, limping off to the sideline. That's something to keep an eye on, as Deckers threw for 233 yards in the first half last week. He's capable of putting up big numbers through the air, especially if they're thin on the back end.
They go with the jet motion, and it's Moreno Cropper as he turns the corner and is forced out near the 43-yard line by Trey Dean.
Yeah, look, if you're going to run the football against this defense, it's got to be on the perimeter. I mean, they are so good. You don't get many yards on them. You don't run the football on them. You got to try to sneak in an explosive play here or there. But running between the tackles is not the recipe.
Only giving up 79 rush yards per game. Second down. Ball comes out quickly. Man, that was like super glued to his chest. The moment it hit him, that was Jalen Moreno Cropper with the reception.
Yeah, and there's one of those RPOs. If you're going to have a linebacker add to the count right here, you replace him with the slant right behind. That's a called run play. But when the numbers are advantageous, you pull it, you hit the slant. Great decision.
First down, Deckers on the deep out that time, again to Moreno Cropper.
You know, we like to complicate football, Tess, and think you can have all these unique play calls. When something works a couple plays ago, come back to it. If they're giving you a look where you got a safety one-on-one with a slot receiver and all that room on the outside, come right back to it. And they did.
First down after the 15-yard completion. Deckers pulls it. He's going to run to the edge. And he goes out just shy of the 10-yard line. Neville Clark was chasing.
Corey Chamblin right now is loading the box.
Let's go right here. Train halo. Train halo. Tallahassee field. Let's go. Come on, Luke. Halo.
Former CFL head coach. That was the first run of this successful drive. 4 straight completions prior to that. 8-yard run by Deckers. Yarns. As he is driven down at the 9-yard line.
Okay, 11 first down.
Travis Feeney on the tackle for St. Louis.
Oh, wait, no. 26 and track. Hip, Trey left.
Hey, let's go right here.
26 and
Hey, A chase 1Q. A chase 1Q. A chase 1Q. A chase 1Q.
It's going to be a full-out blitz there.
3rd down and 1.
Catch your split.
Jalen White, the running back, comes back into the backfield to flank Deckers. Deckers to pass on 3rd and 1. Shallow cross is complete, and inside the 5 is Cam Sutton.
Oh, it's a great play. You force the trailing defender to avoid that second shallow cross coming from right to left, and that gives you just enough separation for the tight end, Cam Sutton, to pick up the 1st down.
1st and goal, Houston. Deckers with time, but he threw it out the back of the end zone on the in-cut for Lawrence Keys. And a flag is down at the 4-yard line.
Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Gareth Warren there getting a little antsy. That noise is already having a big effect on the cadence.
Well, and Jordan, this has been the area that has been such a struggle for this offense in Houston, because the quarterback play hasn't been strong, but they have never been able to consistently score touchdowns. They got to avoid field goals here in the red area today.
First and goal from the 9. Deckers pulls it again. Flag is down again. We will check on that as Davis made the catch.
Number 0 lined up in the neutral zone.
All right, they're going to take it.
We're going to have half distance.
Offside. Defense number 0 lining up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And to Luke's point, they were 1 for 5 last week in the red zone. And this is where I feel that John Rice Plumlee could be a great weapon. He can throw the football, obviously, but he's a dynamic athlete. You need to be able to make play here in the low red zone, but they'll keep Hunter Deckers out there.
Deckers looking to extend the play to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Jontre Kirkland, the former LSU star who was part of that 2020 CFP National Championship.
Well, no pass rush came from the left side. Watch Travis Feeney. He's kind of reading the eyes. He's actually going to be spying Hunter Deckers here, but that gives Deckers the free ability, or the ability to rush outside the pocket to his left side. For a left-handed quarterback, he loves that, and a great adjustment by Jontre Kirkland, being friendly to the quarterback, breaking back in. Great scramble drill pickup there from Deckers.
Boylan for the extra point. And he puts it through. And that was a...
Sitting here with Hunter Deckers. Let's work through this play right here. So we're going to have a fade initially on the outside, work to the inside there, and a little bit of a snag route right here. Take us through the play and your progression.
Yeah, so they're running like a low quarters, almost like a 0 plug look in the red zone here. So I know I got my one-on-one matchups. I actually was trying to play the big body tight end on a fade. Ends up going inside because he has outside leverage. So then I ended up moving off to the return route to the whip. And he's got his outside leverage, so then I ended up just escaping. And from there, it's just scramble rules. That's just playing football.
Yeah, just working the back end line, right?
Yeah, he just played scramble rules to perfection. He felt the whip coming back to the bottom pylon, so he just played the back line, so it's perfect.
Great stuff. Thanks, Hunter.
Appreciate you.
It was an 8-play, 66-yard touchdown drive led by Hunter Deckers. Houston's been so close in so many games this year. Just kind of the flip of a coin in some of these to come up with a 2-5 record as Jennings struggles to secure the ball in the kickoff, and with that he barely makes it to the
veteran. Really the only question mark this St. Louis team had was the turnover prone issues at quarterback, and so far Perez is providing a little stability there.
Perez gets the ball out quickly, and he does so to McBride.
I'll tell you this, Tess. I remember doing Johnny Manziel's pro day at Texas A&M. I was covering it for the SEC network, and there was this other quarterback throwing there. Oh, it was Luis Perez. And I'm like, who's this Texas A&M Commerce guy? Because he was throwing as good as Manziel. I mean, the ball came out of his hand. Unbelievable. The arm strength. Obviously not the athleticism. That's not his game, but he has always been talented. And it's shown at every stop he's made.
Won the Harlan Hill Trophy as the best player in Division II in that season prior to that pro day. By the way, what you bring that up, what a spectacle that was.
My
Johnny
God.
Manziel's pro day, and then there's this other quarterback who's still playing pro football.
Because remember, Johnny was in full pads too.
Yes.
He was one of the first guys to go, I'm going to wear my helmet and pads. And I tell you, Luis Perez out-threw him that day. Obviously, Johnny's way more dynamic and obviously was in college and with everything he can do. But Luis Perez, throw for throw, looked every bit as good.
Here's Perez. Points downfield, running out of options, and somehow gets it to Howard. Jarvion Howard. They're just freestyling, ad-libbing, and finding a way as Howard makes it to the 35. What a play by Perez.
They're going to have to see if Howard was out of bounds and established himself back in. I'm not sure he did.
What do we got?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Okay, lost it down at the previous spot.
If he's out of bounds there and ends up being the first to touch it, that's a big play that's going to be coming back.
Pass by a receiver who went out of bounds. Lost it down at the previous spot. Second out.
So that denies a 33-yard play.
Again, Luis Perez is not the guy that's going to beat you with speed or get outside the pocket and scramble. He's going to get outside the pocket. He's going to be looking downfield. That's his game. And unfortunately, Howard wasn't able to stay in bounds there.
Second down and 10. Perez! This is going to be a pick six. Kerry Vincent Jr. A 34-yard interception return for a touchdown by Vincent Jr. And the extra point.